All right, we'll get going on advanced tax preparation for the 2024 season. So I do want to say welcome. We can get the computer here. There we go. What to expect as a tax prep volunteer and your advanced certification, important topics in tax prep, and relevance for the advanced certification. Remember, you cannot take the certification until you have completed and passed the standards of conduct and take interview and quality review, as well as the basic certifications. The advanced certification will not appear until they are complete. What to expect as a tax prep volunteer. You have legal protections for volunteers. That means that you can't be sued. The IRS protects us federally on that part. You never have to prepare alone. Somebody's always here to help you through the process. Your safety is our top priority here at Peace. We have masks, hand sanitizer, wipes, just to keep you safe. The advanced test is more challenging than what you will typically see at the site. The IRS likes to challenge you, so don't get discouraged. What we need from you is to provide proof of passing your various certification levels, Form 13615. Here at Peace, the tax alert binder will be here for your review. We do ask you to sign that you have read an alert if it is in there. And that way we know that you've read and know that a tax law has changed. We do ask here at Peace that you do at least 10 tax returns for the community other than yours and your family members. We do have a volunteer sign in and sign out right next to that tax alert binder. We do ask you to log your hours each time that you're here so we can get credit for in-kind hours and community investment for our investors. That way we can try for more funding every year. What to expect on your advanced certification. Everybody at this point should be very familiar with LinkLearnTaxCertification.com. Just like your basic exam, you must pass 24 out of the 30 questions correctly, complete the volunteer standards of conduct, intake quality review, and basic certifications before you can take the advanced test. Just like for basic, I've done advanced scenario 1. Each dark bullet aligns with a question for each scenario, and the open bullets are where you can find the information or relative to. Once you get to scenario 7, you'll see 4012 and 1040. Your 4012 is your book. Your 1040 is the practice lab tax return. So it's just like I did for basic. We have the same for advanced. Don't stress. This is just like they want you to be prepared for an if case scenario. Here, we don't typically see a lot of these advanced. A lot of your advanced testing here will be what we call gig work, Grubhub, Uber, Lyft, scheduled C type scenarios. So don't get stressed. We're here to help. And if you have any questions, we're here to help along with that. Just like in basic, we've done returning tax preparers. This is also valid information for new tax preparers and what you can expect in the laws of 2023. Any changes will update as they come available. Practice labs can be found at Peace Inc. at our website, www.peace-caa.org/taxes. You can find all the training schedule, the training materials, any IRS workbooks and publications that you may need. These practice labs are made up, the ones that we do here. The test ones will be your actual tests, just like basic. So I do want to put in there that, all these charts are in your 4012. This is just who must file. This is their decision tree, which you should be familiar with at this point. What qualifies a taxpayer to be head of household, just like in basic. You need to know how to file someone. Keep going. There's more dependent charts. So what's next? Additional practice labs are located on our website. You run through them yourself if you'd like. Join us for any training sessions schedule on the website as well. Review videos. We post all of these videos on our website. And then you just take your certification, standards of conduct, intake interview, quality review, basic certification, and then your advanced. Here at Peace, you know, myself, Sharon, or Ralph, if you send in your answers, we'll let you know, hey, just like on basic, maybe you should take a look at question 17 and 20 if they're, you know, not right. So now we're gonna go back to that link, learn taxes. I'm just scrolling up here so I can get into it. So we have a shared screen here. So we're going to go to that link, learn taxes certification. And we are going to go to our practice lab. Remember that password is all caps, Train Pro Web. Log in. And go ahead and sign in. This is your username and password for your practice lab. And go to practice area. You should be familiar with this. This is just like in basic and able to do your basic returns at this point. So we're going to get going. We are doing practice return F advanced. So Frank McGrath was a New York State public sector employee who became disabled and had to retire on a disability pension. Our VITA tax preparer informed McGrath that he has reached the minimum retirement age of 62 as a state employee. McGrath took a distribution from his IRA as a qualified charitable distribution paid directly to the United Way, who is deemed as a qualified organization. McGrath moves around a lot because he does not get along with landlords as they are all chiselers. He reminds the taxpayer of his new mailing address since he moves around so much. He says if he gets a refund, he would like it to be direct deposited into ABC Bank. He provided his account and routing numbers. He has a New York State driver's license and expiration issued and doc number have been provided. So we are going to get going. Remember that all of this is fictitious. None of these numbers are real. They are all made up, and so are the scenarios. So we'll get going. So because this is fictitious, you have to make up a social security number. Try to use as many numbers as possible. So that way, you can start the return. You're going to find all of Frank's information. So he is single. We're going to hit continue. Now, just say Frank was widowed in 2021. Typically, this would, if we go ahead and do a qualifying spouse, so you need to have a dependent in order to be a qualifying spouse. So you're going to go ahead and hit single. Qualifying surviving spouse is if you have dependents. So go ahead and do the primary taxpayer. It's going to be Frank. And then McGrath. His social pulls through. His birthday is 7/4/1952. And his occupation is disabled. It does show. It does not look like in this scenario he would like to donate to the presidential election campaign fund this year. So we are going to scroll down to his address, which is 204 South Salina, Remember, you can abbreviate, you will need to in the tax return as there is credits. There is a certain amount of characters allowed. And we know he has not provided an email address. Please do not put an email if one is provided on that yellow form, the 13614-C in the customer portal. Because if you invite the customer to the tax return, they will not come in and sign for it, and they will automatically think we e-filed it. We do need to see them and go over them and watch them sign for their tax return. So never put an email in the invite to customer portal. We know that he lives in Onondaga County. And here at Peace, we have a form that is an intake and supplemental intake form for Peace and NITA only, that has county and school districts. So that's going to help you out. If you're not sure, you can always look it up by zip code. But for this case scenario, it's going to be the city of Syracuse. We know that in part 2 under marital status that he has no dependents. So we're going to go ahead and hit no. And at any point, if this is going too fast, you can pause this if you are watching this on YouTube. So that way you have a chance to catch up. So the first form that we have is the 1099 Social Security benefit. You're going to go here to 1099-R. It's the 4th one in, and you're going to hit begin. Social Security benefits begin. So it looks like Frank has $16,800. He has no voluntary tax withheld, and his Medicare payments is $1,710. And just continue and continue. And that is Frank's Social Security. 1099-R. We are in the same box. So we are going to go that 4th one in, hit add and edit. You're going to go to the top one for 1099-R. You're going to enter the information. Payer's TIN is the payer's ID. So it's 0535811074. And it should come up State Street Retiree Service. Make sure that the address, zip code, town, and state match. And then you are going to enter the information. There is an autofill, so you got to make sure you take that $4,000 out of the taxable amount. In box 7, there's a code, and you must hit IRA simple. It is New York. In New York State, your Social Security and pensions can be taxed after $20,000. So that is something you need to keep in mind when you are preparing a tax return. That way, if there's any questions, you're able to answer those if you choose to talk with a client. So we know that Frank has a 1099-R from the IRA. If you flip and go to the next form, we see that he has an additional 1099-R. So you're going to go right up here and add. You're going to do the payer's ID again. And 403581007. State Street Retiree should pull up. Make sure address, zip code, city, town are right, and state. And you will fill out. So it's 9,200. You'll see it automatically autofills in 2A. You need to change that because it is not correct. So it's 7,200. It looks like he did have federal income tax of 736. Withheld. It is box 7 is a 7. It is New York State. The ID is 043581074. And no taxes were withheld. And that's okay. That's just giving you a warning, making sure you did it right. We're going to hit continue. Yes, we want to save this one. We know that he has 2, but he had 2 drawn from the same company, and I will explain in a few minutes why it is important. So go ahead and hit continue. This is not a qualified distribution and repayment plan. That was for COVID. So go ahead and hit continue. Now I see that if we go to the next form, there's another 1099-R, and we're going to hit that. We are going to fill it in. So there should be 3 in total. 20869. It should be New York local employees, 110 State Street, Albany, 12244. And you will just fill out the form as such. It did autofill correctly. It looks like he had 1,800 withheld. You'll notice that this is a code distribution 3. So typically, we would say check here to report on 1040 line 1 distribution code must be a 3. So Frank reached retirement age for the state. So we no longer have to report that as code 3 on earned income because he is of retirement age. 6020869. And that's important because this number is a lot lower your AGI than if I was to click this and have that 18,000 go up as earned income. So go ahead and hit continue and hit no and continue. As of right now, if you look on the right-hand side, you'll see what he's refunded in federal and what he has coming back in state, which is -783. But there's a reason for that. And we're going to show how to take out pensions because a certain portion of your pension is not taxable. So we're going to continue and we're going to hit continue again. We know based off from our scenario that he donated to United Way. He took a qualified distribution from his IRA and donated it to the United Way. So we need to go up in this awesome form finder and hit 5329. And this is important because he donated the money. We want to make sure that he is not taxed on that $4,000. So we need to put $4,000 in there. And we need to put in under select exemption rule, more than one exemption applies. And this is why. 1, he donated the money. And 2, he's of retirement age. That matters for the state, as well as does it matter that he donated the money. So you're just going to go ahead and scroll down. And hit continue. Then hit continue again. So now that we did that, we know that 5329 gives Frank a tax break on his distribution from his IRA for contributing. You saw that long line of list. Those are qualified expenditures towards that reduce your tax liability, so he doesn't have to pay taxes through the federal or the state on that. So now that we know that we've done all of our forms, We're going to go over to the left-hand side and hit on health insurance. So we know he does not have a Form 1095A, so we're going to hit no. We're going to hit continue. So in New York State, like I was explaining, we're going to edit there. You have pensions. Pensions in New York State are not taxable, dependent. So we are going to go into subtractions from income. We're going to hit begin. And you see certain pensions income is excluded from New York State taxable income. You're going to hit begin. Now, this is where we have little cheat sheets here to help you through. So State Street Retiree Service is not a government, a local government. I know it's a State Street, but they are actually private. So that's going to go in the bottom box. And if you add those two pensions up, it ends up being $9,200. Now we had a third one, which was from the New York State Local Employees Retirement System. That is a state or local government, federal government pension. And all of that $18,000 is not taxable. So you would put the 18,000. So even if this was 40,000, you would put, and it was from a New York State or local federal government, you will put the full amount there. But if it's a private one, you are only allotted up to $20,000. And even if you were to put the 25.2 in there, the system in this box right here will only calculate up to 20,000. So go ahead and hit continue and then continue again. We are going to scroll to the bottom and we are going to hit exit New York return. And you'll notice that on the right-hand side, his state has adjusted to $0 because none of his pension was taxable. So we are going to hit continue again. Brings us to our 1040. His will be a 1040 SR because he is a senior now. He is age 71. He has met the qualifying age limit. He's actually past that. So he does need to reach out to his 1099-R for New York State and have that code changed to a 7 instead of a 3. You will see here, if you scroll down, that his Social Security benefits were taxed at $4,300. His taxable amount for the IRS is $25,200 for his pensions. And his IRA was not taxable. So that's great news. We did that form, the 5329, that makes it not taxable. Apologize for that. So now that we have gotten all Frank's information in, we know all of his forms are here. We have made sure that the IRA distribution was not taxed federally, and we know it wasn't in state because our state computation is 0. We are going to hit continue. This is just a warning that there might be an error. We know that code 3 is why it's giving us an error. It should not be a code 3. It should be a 7, like I had stated. So he doesn't need to put it up as earned income. We do know that that is correct. So you're just going to go ahead and hit continue. We know that he does not want direct deposit. Oh, wait, no, I think this one he did. He wants direct deposit. So e-file direct deposit for federal, e-file direct mail payment. So if there's ever a O or 0, it's e-file mail payment. Never do direct deposit or direct debit. That way it gives, just in case the client doesn't have enough money to pay for that coming out of their account, it should always be e-file mail payment or e-file direct deposit. It should never be e-file direct debit. So like before, that taxpayer's PIN is needed. So you're going to copy that. You're going to hit continue again. This page right here, this fees means nothing for us. So you're going to hit continue. We know that it is a savings account. So we need to put savings. ABC Bank. pull the refund. Always pull that refund. Put in the routing number. The account number. 1, 2, 3, 4. Do you think it's going to give us an error on the routing number? It's not real. So I am going to look up Powers and read it out loud. That way we have an actual routing number in here. If you are watching this. And that routing number is going to be 221380127. And then again, it's going to be 221380127. You're going to hit continue. We know he had provided a driver's license, so we're going to put that driver's license number in there, 844-69410. The issue date of 04/03/2020. Expiration date is 04/03/2027. New York. And that 3-digit DACA number is DD6. And we will continue. ID card must be what? Exactly 9 digits. You may have to add one. So we'll do 690 and then hit continue again. This is where that 5-digit taxpayer ID number that we copied, you're going to put it there. It's usually 1 in the last 4, just in case you'd forget. You're going to put the date as today and hit continue. These are custom questions we have on that yellow form here. They are not printed on the 13614-C. So you're just going to use your best knowledge, say very well based off from you. We know he has a disability, so we're going to say yes. He was not part of the armed forces, as far as I'm aware. He is white. He has no spouse. He's not Hispanic or Latino. His ethnicity is no spouse. He was not here the whole time. And this means nothing, so just hit prefer not to answer. So typically here at Peace, you'll have one that says the tax preparer's initials. That's going to be your initials. You will see the quality reviewers' initials. Just leave that blank. We will fill that in as the quality reviewers. Hit continue. This next question is a custom sample credit question. This means nothing for you, so you're just going to hit continue. And it brings us to our submission page. So you're going to scroll down to the bottom and you are going to say mark return ready for review. And you are going to save and exit. And that brings us to a completed tax return for Frank McGrath. We're always here available at Peace. The phone number here is 315-634-3756. Most of you are familiar with Sharon, Ralph, and myself. You can always email us as well. That way we can check your answers before you submit the actual test results. And we look forward to seeing you here at Peace. Again, thank you for stopping in.